Welcome back, everybody. Time in the WHIP studios is 11:31. We're going to welcome back a good friend to this show, and now he's going to the Super Bowl. He'll be flying out to San Francisco shortly, and that is Brandon McManus, the AFC champion kicker for the Denver Broncos. B-Mac, Zach, and Mike here on your old stomping grounds at Temple University. Thanks for a few minutes, and how are you, my friend?
Good, Zach and Mike. How you guys doing? It's a pleasure being back on the old radio here at Temple.
Well, it's great to have you on, and congratulations getting to the Super Bowl. Has that feeling sunk in yet that you're going to the big game?
A little bit. Obviously, seeing all the entertainment and the hype coming out of our city here in Denver and practice-wise and stuff like that. But I don't think it'll really sink in until I'm probably out there, with opening kickoff, getting ready to boot it away and see the crowds and all the hype driving into the stadium and stuff like that.
I'm sure you guys are moved on, but I want to just take you back to the AFC Championship Game, Brady Manning 17. After the game, I saw on your Twitter a great shot of your father enjoying the confetti and celebrating on the field. Just how special of a moment is that for you to see your dad have so much joy in such a big moment like that?
Well, obviously, I was super excited. Obviously, we did win. It was kind of a heartbreaking game, coming down to the end there, and I don't know how happy you are, Zach.
I knew you were going to start in with that, Brandon. Congratulations, you guys were the better team and won the game.
But it was an outstanding game, and it was just exactly probably what I thought it was going to be game-wise, and it's a special moment. And a lot of people know the story with Dan Marino. He went to Super Bowl his first year and never won back again. So I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted my dad to have a chance to enjoy it as well. So I wanted to bring him down on the field. Just to see everything and take it all in with myself.
Your defense and special teams have just been so phenomenal this year, and it's been a bizarre year with the Broncos because at one point Brock was playing, then you go back to Peyton, and now the Denver Broncos are in the Super Bowl. I always know when you were at Temple, you took a lot of pride in just being called a football player and not just referred to as a kicker, and you've been around a lot of great quarterbacks, whether it was Andrew Luck in Indianapolis, Eli Manning with the Giants, and now Eli's older brother and Peyton Manning out there in Denver. Just what do you learn from a player like Peyton Manning?
One cool thing is my locker is right next to his, so I kind of get to see him every day, day in, day out, just how hard he works. And, I think at this time in his career, he's not as vocal of a leader as he used to be, but, if he walks into a room, he commands the whole room. Everybody, is waiting for him to follow his lead. And there's nobody that I've ever seen study as much as he does, and even do pregame adjustments in the locker room and even halftime adjustments, going up to each receiver, running backs, and changing calls so that way the defense doesn't have a lead on him, and just a competitive nature he has to win and to be the best.
And we all heard after the game, Manning went up to Bill Belichick and said, hey, this may be my final rodeo. You don't need any motivation for the Super Bowl because it's the biggest game in professional sports. But is there a little bit extra motivation inside that Denver Broncos locker room to get Peyton that one final ring?
Obviously those are words that, Peyton expressed to Bill. But I think, this locker room, we know that there's a lot of free agents this year. And, we're not going to be able to have the same exact team that we have next year. So there was a lot of sense of urgency to get to where we are now. And, Peyton, maybe being his last year, maybe some of the players might have known that they knew that this was the year that they needed to do something. And this is how, we're excited to be where we are.
We're talking to former Temple football kicker and punter in Brandon McManus. And I want to make sure I had mentioned that you were a punter here at Temple. Do you miss that side of special teams at all?
It is what it is. I was fortunate enough to, be able to punt at Temple and kind of do it all. Doesn't happen here in the NFL at all. There's not one person that does it all. So, I'm excited to be, kicking for the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl and coming off of a successful year. And I'm looking forward to, hopefully give a little stamp to my career and win a Super Bowl.
Now, your final season at Temple, it was a little bit of a weird year where Temple was put back in the Big East, and that was only a short-term thing where then Matt Rule came in the next year, and then it was the AAC started to emerge, and now we're in the third year of the AAC. That same 2013 season for you professionally, the Colts picked you up after being undrafted, but then you were waived before the 2014 season from the Colts. Between the two things, do you think what was more likely, Temple picking up 10 wins or you going to the Super Bowl? Which one would you have thought would have came first?
Well, to be honest, I thought there was a pretty good chance for both. I talked to Matt before the year, and some of my friends are still on the coaching staff there, and they said this was going to be a very good team this year, and look out for Temple to do big things. And obviously, I knew the skill set and players that we have here on the Broncos. Just look at our defense across the board. Almost all the players could be in the Pro Bowl. That's how good these players are, and just seeing the preseason, how well we played in the beginning of the year, starting off undefeated, I knew that there was a good chance for both us and Temple to do what we did.
Now, I know a lot of people grow up and they idolize different position players, such as quarterbacks, wide receivers. Did you idolize any kickers growing up? I know my co-host maybe has an Adam Vinatieri jersey by chance for what he did for his franchise. What do you think? Did you idolize any kickers growing up?
I probably idolized football players more in general, but since I was kicking when I was younger, I always had a favorite kicker, and just being in Philadelphia was David Akers. But I really enjoyed watching football as a whole, and not just kicking wise. So I loved Mark Brunell growing up. I loved Fred Taylor, both Jacksonville Jaguars, so if it were to come down to kicking, David Akers, I always enjoyed watching him kick in Philadelphia. He did an outstanding job.
It's amazing, Brandon. You were in the Eagles' backyard playing at Lincoln Financial Field. You grew up as an Eagles fan, and the Eagles never gave you a chance. They never signed you. What's up with that? What's going on with the Eagles? Why didn't they get you?
Whenever I'm on the WIP, Mike Missinelli and Angelo Cataldi always asking me about, how that Philadelphia let me slip by, and it just it happens the way it happens. I went to a workout there, coming out of Temple, and I thought I had a very good workout. Didn't miss any kicks, and I guess they weren't ready to pull the trigger there at that time like that. So the cards kind of fall as they do, and who knows if they regret anything. I'm sure. I'm happy where I am right now. It's a great place to be here, the Broncos, and if I was with the Eagles, I don't know if I'd be going to the Super Bowl this year.
No doubt about that. As we're talking to Brandon McManus, who joins us right now, he'll be playing in the Super Bowl next Sunday, as it will be the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos. We all know there's ups and downs in making it in this league. I've always had the confidence in you, Brandon, and I said, supporting you all those years, I thought you'd be a very good kicker in this league because you have just tremendous distance on your kick and you're very accurate. How did you keep your spirits up, though, when you were in Indianapolis, then let go, and then you were with the Giants, let go, and then even last year you struggled a bit?
Yeah, it kind of was a little bit of a learning curve. There are definitely some differences here in the NFL. I don't know how many people watched me at Temple. We had maybe 30,000 people in the stands, but not many people watched me on TV. Well, it's a little bit different and a little bit of nature that comes with the kicking in the NFL, and unfortunately, I missed more kicks than I wanted to last year. There were some longer ones, so it kind of comes with the territory. In the NFL, you have to make whatever kick they kind of throw you out there to make. So I wanted to come back and bounce back. Fortunately, the Broncos, signed me back for the kickoff specialist the rest of the year, and I was able to kind of make a little adjustment to my technique-wise to figure out, what I kind of was doing and what I could kind of help my accuracy-wise, and it has really helped me this year, and I'm looking forward to continued success down the road.
We've seen big kickers in this playoffs this year, whether it's Blair Walsh or Stephen Gostkowski, miss big kicks. Gostkowski missing the extra point, and then Blair Walsh missing what would have been the game-winning field goal. Just as a kicker, take us through that mentality. How do you bounce back after missing a big kick and continue your career and have a lot of success?
I think one of the biggest things is if you do miss a kick in the game, you really don't want that to lead to another missed kick. It's one thing to miss, one kick in one game, then another kick in another game. But you really don't want one kick to lead to another miss, because then, the game plan for the coaches might kind of change, and stuff like that. So the best thing, I did when I kind of went through late in the year, was missing, kind of a kick almost each game for five straight games. I just wanted to, focus and once you miss, you almost immediately know what you did wrong, and kind of put that to the side and move forward with it, and just don't let it kind of happen again. One thing about these kickers in this NFL, how good they are and how quickly they know their bodies and why they miss kicks, and that's why they are where they are.
You were earlier in the league surrounded by Adam Vinatieri, who's the best clutch kicker and has done it on the biggest stage with 3 seconds left in a Super Bowl, putting the kick through the upright to give his team a championship. Hopefully you're in that situation this upcoming next Sunday to get a big game-winning kick in the Super Bowl. But take us through that mentality as well of what it's like to go out there with your foot deciding the factor of the game and possibly going out there and kicking a game-winning kick with 3 seconds left.
I think I probably approach every game like it could come down to a game-winning field goal, especially in the playoffs and even more in the Super Bowl, just because of how well both teams are playing. And, we have two great defenses that are going to really put up a challenge for one another. And, I grew up, it was a dream of mine just to play in the Super Bowl, let alone, kick the game-winning field goal and one. I've watched, my peer, like you said, Adam Vinatieri, kick multiple game winners, so I'm excited for the chance for that to happen for me, and I'll definitely accept that challenge with open arms, and really looking forward to raising the Lombardi Trophy, whether it's a good team win or whether it's the hands on off the ball with my foot.
What did you learn from Adam when you were in Indianapolis?
He taught me a lot of practice habits and how to kind of stay healthy throughout the whole season, because it's a lot longer than the college season, and you really, coming in as a young guy, you might want to try and overkick to over-impress coaches to try and get the job and stuff like that. So it was a lot more mentally preparing me, and practice habits that I still use today to try and reserve my leg and stay fresh. And I feel extremely fresh right now, and we still have another week and a half to get to the game, so I'm excited for it.
As much as Adam Vinatieri could be that mentor to you, did you then take on that role to Austin Jones this season and be a mentor to him and help him and calm him down? Because he really had a career year for himself and was a huge reason why Temple was able to pick up 10 wins.
If I was a lot closer to Temple, I might be able to help Austin out, but he's done this all on his own. I haven't had much contact with Austin since I was out, before I flew out here to Denver. I was able to just talk to him when he came on his official visit, I think, to Temple. And then when I was on the sideline, I think, for the Penn State game. But he had an outstanding year. I think he's going to break all my records. So that's why the records are there to be broken. So I'm excited for him, and hopefully he continues to have success and hit big game-winning field goals at Temple just like I did.
He won't be the all-time leading scorer, though. I think that record's going to be pretty darn good for you. But just seeing what this Temple team was able to do this year, starting it off with the big bang up against Penn State for the first time in 74 years, they took them down. Then College Game Day came to town on October 31st. Team then was in the American Athletic Conference Championship game. Didn't play great in that game. Then the bowl game, they weren't able to win that one as well. But it was still an historic season for this Temple football team. Just as an alum that has seen the ups and downs of this program, just what were some emotions that you were experiencing watching this Temple team play ball this year?
Obviously, I'm sure Matt isn't happy how the season ended with the two losses, but just seeing how well the team played in the beginning of the year. I think they started 7-0, maybe 8-0, and they almost really should have won the Notre Dame game as well. It was exciting to be an alumni for Temple, especially in the locker room here, with the other NFL players, hyping up their schools, and you finally get to see Temple ranked in the top 25, and you're trying to talk a little smack to some of the guys here in the locker room. But it was extremely exciting, to enjoy that run with them, and hopefully it continues the success down the road, and those seniors there kind of gave a winning tradition to some of the younger guys, and hopefully they keep the ball rolling.
Wrapping up here with Brandon McManus, who's heading to the Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos, former Temple kicker as well. B-Mac, Fox was the coach last year for the Denver Broncos. This year it's Gary Kubiak, and now you're in the Super Bowl. Just what's been the biggest difference from John Fox to Gary Kubiak this year?
Well, I think one of the things that was interesting was, we had won 4 straight AFC West championships with John Fox, and we've been to, I think, 2 AFC championships and had a first-round bye every time with him. But, obviously, I don't know what all went down between, Foxy and Elway, but, we were excited to have Kubiak come in and kind of instill a little bit of a different offense that kind of balanced Peyton a little bit and give us a little more of a running game that, we've been using here in the playoffs to help, kind of relieve the stress on our quarterback position. And, I really enjoyed playing for John Fox, and, I'm enjoying playing under Coach Kubiak. So I'm looking forward to, finally, see if we can finish the deal here and win Super Bowl 50.
You're such a professional, but you have to be like a little kid when John Elway walks in a locker room and stands next to Peyton Manning, 2 of the all-time great quarterbacks. Do you ever just pinch yourself in that locker room and just look up and say, holy crap, I'm standing next to Peyton Manning and then John Elway?
I think I did my first game when I came out here, but after that it kind of comes routine when you see the 2 of them talking to one another in the locker room. But initially when I came in, and that kind of was the my initial feeling about it, and it just kind of comes routine when you see them work together and see their interactions throughout daily basis, whether it's at the training facility or in the stadium. Just how well even Elway still watches the games. It kind of might drop hints to Payne, and Payne bounces them back off Elway. So it's a unique relationship that you do enjoy seeing, and I don't know if I ever dreamed of seeing it in person myself.
Before we let you run, North Penn, your high school, they're selling Brandon McManus shirts, and the Friday before the Super Bowl, everyone's going to wear those orange number 8 shirts, and it's going to be a special scene there. Temple is here, is elated that you're in the Super Bowl. Everyone on campus is talking about you going to the big game. Just what does that mean to you to see that support from your roots of your high school and your college?
Obviously, it's unbelievable that, I am just a kicker, I don't have a prime-time position, but just to have the support back home, it means a lot to me. I still, I'm in touch with some of the teachers back home, and, I still go back there in the off season and go into high school or go into my elementary school and, talk to some kids. So it's super exciting that, that they're willing to support me the way they are. And I know even throughout the snowstorm you guys had last weekend, I had a good showing at one of the local restaurants that a lot of people filled up and were cheering me on. And, I couldn't have asked for, a better support group back in my hometown. And then at Temple, it was one of the 4 best years of my life, I think. And, I really enjoyed the city and what Temple provided for me and all the coaches I had. I'm extremely honored to play there and, have the support of them as well. And hopefully, I get to bring the Super Bowl ring back home to Philly and share it with everybody.
Well, tremendous team win last week, and that was a classic game. And we wish you the best of luck next Sunday playing in the big game in San Francisco. I know I'll be heading out there, and we hope to see you make many big kicks in that game. But you got to make us a promise, Brandon, before we let you go. If you win the Super Bowl, you got to bring that ring to the WHIP studios next year for an interview in person, all right?
All right, sounds good.
All right, B-Mac, thanks so much. We appreciate a few minutes.
Thanks on the show, guys. Appreciate it.